haven't heard that much energy in a long time. My friends, boy, that's the first event I've ever had some booze.
Doug Ford getting booed on stage last night at a Special Olympics event. It would be an embarrassing moment for any politician, but to make matters worse, Mayor John Tory, who's battling the Premier over provincial cuts, got a resounding cheer from the crowd. Now, the sound of that booing is still reverberating here at Queen's Park. The Ford government is trying to brush it off. Now, look, every politician from every stripe probably gets booed from time to time. But this does beg the question, has the Ford government lost a lot of goodwill with voters?
Mayor, what's your take on being booed last night?
Oh, you know something, it was a great event. I support the Special Olympics.
Minister after minister echoed the Premier, virtually word for word.
The important thing there is the Premier showed up. The Premier's there. We support the Special Olympics.
The Premier was there last night. The Premier supports the work that Special Olympics is doing.
I think it was great that he was actually at the event last night. It showed support for the Special Olympics. Our government shows support for the Special Olympics.
Were you told to say that line because every minister has come out with that exact same line?
Listen, we support our Special Olympics.
The opposition presented a much different take in the legislature.
Speaker, it sounds like the folks at the event last night would have wished that the Premier hadn't showed up at all. Speaker.
I think what the families and the people who were there last night were saying, you're doing things that are hurting our sons and daughters, our brothers and sisters. You're cutting. And we're sending you a message. Stop.
Take partisanship out of the equation, and the booing at the Special Olympics shows families of vulnerable children are angry. They've watched the autism community fighting the government. They see school boards and public health facing cuts. And now the city is warning it may have to introduce a second property tax because provincial cuts have left it with an unexpected $177 million shortfall. 28 mayors, including John Tory, have signed a letter accusing the government of downloading by stealth. Are you losing the PR battle with the mayor? And then, all the mayors, because 28 are standing together united against your cuts. Are you losing this war? They represent 70% of the population in Ontario.
No, not at all. We are doing what we were elected to do.
So, is the government taking the booing as a warning? It doesn't seem to be.
The takeaway is that we're making unprecedented investments in healthcare and in education.
Now, most governments try to get the tough stuff out of the way in the hopes that by the time the next election rolls around, voters will have forgotten about it. But this government has made it especially hard on itself because of how it is rolling out the cuts. For example, they didn't announce them all at once in the budget. Rather, we're seeing cut after cut after cut, day after day. And also, they didn't give the municipalities any warning, so they've all been left scrambling. What it means is Doug Ford is going to have to work extra harder to win back some goodwill.